going to show you how to solve Leetcode question 621. It's a task scheduler and it's a median Leetcode question. So basically it gives you an array tasks A, B, something like this, and it representing CPU needs to CPU needs to do. Each letter represents a different task. A task could be done in any order. Each task is done in 1 unit of time. For each unit of the time, CPU could complete either one task or just be idle. So CPU needs 1 unit of power time to do the tasks, and it's either doing the task or idle. And there is a non-negative integer n equals to 2. N could be 0, so that means that there is no wait time. N represents the cooldown period between the same tasks, the same letter in the array. So that means you cannot. So basically, you cannot do 2 tasks right next. If n equals 2 in this case, right? If you want to do A again, you either have to wait to idle time, or you can do B task, right? That's what it meant. And return the least number of units of time that CPU will take to finish all the given tasks. And then if n equals to 2 in this case, for example, that because there's 3A, 3B here, right? And then so you want to do A, B, you're alternating so that you don't have to wait. But the next one you have to idle. Let's say idle is X. And then since n equals to 2, and I'm writing something like this, and then you do A, B, and then you have to wait because you in order to do A, you need to wait 2 unit, and then in order to do B, you need to wait 2 unit also, and then last is just A, B, something like that. And you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you counted, the answer is 8. That's why you have to return A in this case. And for tasks, it gives you all these tasks. N equals to 0. It's something interesting. When there's no 0, meaning there's no wait time. So you don't need to wait any time to do the next task. That means there's no restriction. So you basically just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You just count the length of the tasks, which is 6, right? In this case, you just return 6. And there's another example, and it returns 16 here. And here are some constraints. And here is the company asked this question multiple times in the last 6 months. And if we look at the last example that we didn't actually, let's start with the first example. So let's find the something in the common, and n equals 2, right? It gives you A, B, 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 and n equals 2 in this case. That means that in order to do A again, it's actually n plus 1. So that's why I put a 3 in one row. So the sequence is that if you do, you want to start with the most frequent one, right? So A, B, and you use A, B, and then you write the last row. There are 2 characters here. I use X to represent the idle time, and then the last row is AB. And you can see AB is actually the frequent characters. And in the second example, they give you A, B, 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 n equals to 0. When n equals to 0, it's actually just length of the tasks. Does it make sense to you? Because you don't have to wait anything. So either way, that how you do it, it works. And let's take a look at another example. So the last example is A. I think there's 6A here. Yep. B, C, D, E, F, G, right? So you also n equals 2, right? You also wanted to use up the A so that you can insert as many as A possible without having to set it to idle. So you want to start with A, right? Because n equals 2, I'm going to also write 3 items in a row. So then A, B, C, right? Because I want to use different characters so that I can repeat a task. So the next one, I'm going to repeat a A because I wait 2 more units and I can do to do A again. D, E, right? And then I want to do A again, F, G. And then next time when I do A, I already have no any other character left, but I have to do A, but then I still have A left and nothing else left, so I have to wait idle, right? And then A, idle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I still have one more A left, and then that's the last row. And if you look at the example here, you can find the something in common. The common thing is that it's either it equals to the length of tasks when n equals to 0, basically no way, or the something in common is actually the unit, the output is all these rows adds up to, and the last row, all these rows adds to the last row. So how many rows are these? And if you look at the A frequency, there's 3A here, 3A, 3B, right? And then the number of the rows that fill up with even with the idle timer is the max frequency minus 1. So basically the rows are 2 row, basically is max frequency minus 1 is basically 2 in this case, and multiplies the numbers in each row basically is n plus 1 in this case. That's why I wrote n 3 in each row, right? And then you count these rows and then you add last two item in the last row. The last 2 rows are actually an overflow from the previous rows, and if you look at it, it's the max frequency is every single time that there is a max frequency, you add a 1 to the last row. Basically, the last row is showing you the alphabet has the max frequency. So basically, the whatever has the most frequency is A and B. So in this case, it's 2. If that makes sense to you, because there are 2 max frequency here, and then that's why you add a 2 here. And we can use this to validate in the third one is here the answer is 16, right? So if we calculate, let's look at this formula and use it here. And last row, I'm gonna change it to, so max frequency is there's 6, 8, so 6 is the max frequency, minus 1 is the row, so basically 5 row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 row, multiplies n plus 1, which is 3, that's 15, right? And then add the last row. Last row is the count of the max frequency, the one that has the same, the alphabet has the same max, has the max frequency is only 1. Only A has max frequency as 6. So you only need to add a 1 in this case. That's why this equals to 16. So the biggest result is actually either that the max frequency equals to this, or the length of the tasks, whichever one is the biggest. If we do this A, B, and if we count the same way, but I guess max frequency is 3 and we don't need to count it because it's 0, but it's actually whichever one, this formula or the length of task, whichever that is bigger, and then you will be able to find the answer. And let me show you how to do this in code. So I'm just gonna write all these alphabet into our hash map so that I can know their count, and I'm just gonna use counter counter to write it so that it's easier for me to just simpler, less code. And the max frequency is actually the max of frequency, the hash map values, maximum value. This way it will, for example, there's the hash map looks like, the hash map is, let me write it here so more clear. Hash map looks like key value, right? And A is 3, B is 3 in this case, the max value. So when you do the values function, it will only show you the 3, and a max, that is the max frequency, will return 3 in this case. And then I'm gonna set last row at the beginning to 0. So for key and value in frequency dot items, that's how you get the items from the hash map, the items function. And for every single key and value pair in the hash map, something look like this. If the value equals to the max frequency, I'm gonna plus the last row plus 1. So in this example, there's max frequency is 3, right? There's 2 value equals to max frequency, so I'm gonna have to add 2. Last row will be set to 2 in this case, and then I already have the last row. And after I go through the entire hash map on the values, what I'm gonna return is the max of, remember I was telling you it's either length of the tasks, right? That's one scenario. The other scenario is the max frequency minus 1 multiplux n plus 1. That's basically this one we're writing here. And then plus the last row, right, that we calculated. Whichever one is bigger, it will return you the biggest value. That's validated. Oh, I think that there's a typo here. It should be values. Yep. If you think that this is helpful, please like my video and give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon with more Leetcode questions. Bye bye.